Lana Zaher, up to 2 years ago from Al Arstahiniya family business. I did various roles. Last one was founding a company in the US. We sold the business to private equity, and for the last 7 months, I've been starting my own VC in food tech, agri-tech, and regenerative ag in the worlds of culinary and climate. And let Shoshana introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Shoshana. I'm in Toronto, Canada. Briefly, I started my career at PricewaterhouseCoopers doing tech consulting, was there for a number of years, left to start a machine learning AI-based company doing fraud transaction AI. We ended up selling to Square as they wanted to do their foray and entry into the Canadian market. Left, didn't want to do golden handcuffs and all that good stuff, so left and started my own second company. We were heavy freight rail industry focused, very niche, but we were doing predictive maintenance algorithms, and ended up doing an exit to Caterpillar. And now I'm mostly just doing mentorship, advisory. I'm in one of the labs at MIT, working with the PhDs there, helping them to form companies, and we do some seed round investment through the lab. So yeah.
Thank you.
So Professor, we're together, me and Shoshana, we are...
It's Moshe. You, Lana, she's Shoshana, I'm Moshe.
Moshe. I'll go for Moshe. We're co-leading the group alongside Shoshana, and our goal is to develop a clear work plan for concrete quarterly deliverables for 25-26 for the university. So we're kicking off the entrepreneurship workshop group, and as a key part of our impact project. So I'll introduce you shortly to whoever does not know you, and I'll give you the floor for your insights and know-how. So Professor Moshe is a chair professor of information technology at the Collar School of Management, served as dean of school from 2014 through June 2022. He is currently the chief entrepreneurship and innovation officer of Tel Aviv University and head of the Bloomberg Segol Initiative of City Leadership at Tel Aviv University. You've done so much. The field of research is entrepreneurship, innovation, information and cybersecurity, and information systems planning and policy. We're very honored to have you today. Thank you for your time, and the floor is yours.
Pleasure here. Let me share again.
Thank you.
We have another 2 minutes now. Till all the others will...
Yeah, we have another 2 minutes.
Yes.
So let's
wait for them 2 minutes and then we will...
I thought everyone is here. Okay.
No, we just started now. In 2 minutes.
Lana, how are you?
Good. How are you, Sigalit?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. I'm actually in Spain, so
Oh.
in flights. Yeah. It's all good. Let's see.
So we'll wait another 2 minutes for everyone to join. Thank you.
We could have done...
Lana, we haven't met yet, so nice to meet you. I am the head of Tel Aviv University Alumni Organization. Hi.
It's been a while. True.
How many are we expecting to join us?
Around between 15 to 20.
Okay.
I'd have done the introduction longer, but I was very short and precise. I thought everyone is here already. Sorry, my bad.
All good. Now I realize who I am.
Nimrod, how are you? So I've known Nimrod for...
Yeah, Lana, that's the
good years.
fact that you're in Madrid. That's the only excuse for you not to come last week, right?
Right, of course. I sent everyone. I missed so much last week.
Yeah, you were missed.
Thank you. Yeah. I arrived to Madrid. Actually, I'm on a road show here in Europe, so I'm going to be here for the next 2 weeks. It's been a busy few days.
That's
very
cool.
busy few days. Yeah.
We'll
hopefully.
do,
What do you
we'll
have?
do you a private book club when you're back.
Sorry?
You have an echo.
We'll host you for a private book club. That's the one that you missed. Don't worry.
People are joining, so
Oh, very good.
we'll start shortly.
Okay.
Lana, I think that you should introduce Moshe again.
Wait until everybody joins. You want to start
Yes,
now or you
when
want to wait a
everybody
couple of
will be in.
2 minutes, we'll wait 2 minutes.
Sure.
One more minute and then Lana, you can start. Thank you. You can start, Lana.
Thank you again for the people who just joined us, and welcome. So I'll introduce Professor Moshe, and we'll give the floor to him to his insights. So Professor Moshe is a chaired professor of information technology at the Collier School of Management and served as a dean of the school from 2014 through June 2022. He's currently the Chief Entrepreneurship and Innovation Officer of Tel Aviv University and the head of Bloomberg's Goal Initiative of the City Leadership at Tel Aviv. He's the incumbent of Itzhak Galinsky Chair of Entrepreneurship, Technology Innovation, and Management. Also serves as the Academic Director of the Eli Horowitz Institute for Strategic Management and the Collier Institute of Venture. The fields of research are entrepreneurship and innovation, information and cyber, security and information systems, planning and policy. Professor Moshe, thank you for being with us. You'll share the insights and the floor is yours. Professor Moshe with us. Yes, Moshe. You're on mute.
That's the best thing to be on mute.
True.
Hold on for a second. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Okay, so hi there. Good afternoon here. Wherever you are, it's good morning, good afternoon. My name is Moshe Zviran, and Lana introduced me, so I'm not going to reiterate it. And what we're going to do this afternoon is to try and give you kind of a brief description of what Tel Aviv University is doing with regard to entrepreneurship and innovation, and highlight the change. I'm a Tel Aviv University graduate, and I would like to highlight the change of some of the things that were not during the time that I was a student here, but rather are currently part of the university's DNA. And we are going to do it in a 4-part presentation. I will just do the introduction and provide you with a framework, and 3 of my colleagues, namely Eyal, Binyamin, Nimrod, Cohen, and Yair Sakov, will each of them will give his perspective of one of the ingredients of the framework. So eventually you'll have a full coverage, but from first source. Instead of myself talking about everything, I would like the experts and the people who are responsible for particular activities to describe in details what they are doing. well, it's Zoom, so it's a bit difficult. Typically, I tell people, if you have a question, just hop in and say and ask it. I don't know whether in Zoom it's possible, but you don't need to wait until the end. You can just try and interrupt. Hopefully it will work. You know, I want to look at the title for a second. We're talking about entrepreneurship innovation ecosystem, but the DNA which we are trying to change is that most of the graduates that establish their companies, and especially later on after the exit, will say naturally it all started at Tel Aviv University. So it's a friendly environment, it's a good academic environment, but we want them to start here, get all the appropriate training and the capabilities, as well as the opportunities, and then go out and say it all started at Tel Aviv University. And it's different than in the States, because in the US, in Canada, they graduate from high school, they go to college and university, and this is the first thing they're basically seeing after they graduated from high school. In Israel, it's the army. So we are coping with a major force that for many entrepreneurs, they will say it all started at the IDF, and we think that we can contribute to it and maybe even change a little bit the DNA. So as a case in point, we drafted a nice poster with some startups, it's not all of them, that started from TAU. One of the founders, or all of the founders, are from TAU. The idea is we got what you see here is startups that were listed by PitchBook. And we didn't take out of the internet or whatever the logos, but rather we asked them to provide us with the logo, also due to the quality of the logo, not just the authorization to use it. But it's an eye-blowing poster where you see all those names together, and there are many more. In terms of achievements, Tel Aviv University is currently ranked as number 7 in the world in graduates that establish their own companies, founders that come from Tel Aviv University. Again, it could be just one out of the founders or the team, but a founder that graduated from Tel Aviv University. It could be in STEM, it could be in management, it could be in econ or whatever, but we are the only ones on the top 10 of the list. About 12 years ago, or 14 years ago, we were number 9. We then climbed to number 8, hand in hand with Michigan, and then we scored number 7. And I think that the glass ceiling is between 5 and 6, because if you look at the top 5, Stanford, Berkeley, Harvard, MIT, and Penn, we don't survive a chance due to the resources that they have and the establishment. But the next goal, and I will show you later, but the next goal is just to surpass Cornell. I think it's a viable goal, and this is what we want to do. And that means that we need to establish and create more new ventures that will start from TAU. And another chart that I like, it was compiled by Ilyas Rebovlev from Stanford. He looked at unicorn founders from foreign universities, and you could see here the superpowers. Britain or UK, Canada, India, and Israel. I mean, we're all the same size, the same population. I'm joking. But Tel Aviv University is starring with and it tops the list with 43 unicorns. By TAU, you have here also the Hebrew U and Technion and so on. We basically have quite a few universities in this distinguished list, which again, and when I talk to my president, I always tell him, listen, we managed to get here even without doing anything proactively. We just have the brightest students, and they have the entrepreneurship DNA. And this is what they are. Now think what will happen if we will support them by a viable ecosystem. And at that point, he asked me to try and bridge all the entrepreneurship islands at Tel Aviv University. And this is what I've been trying to do in the past few years. So, you know, when we look at universities in general, they are traditionally considered to be ivory towers, focused on research, research, and research. They are doing three things: research, research, and research. And this is the top priority for them. And we are trying to convince them that today, with the additional to the basic research and provide education to individuals, universities should turn to be not just ivory towers, but maybe beacons of entrepreneurship or lighthouse. So they will train their students not just to become researchers. And as you know, less than 5%, and I'm very generous, less than 5% of the students continue to advance research and eventually become PhDs. Most are looking for a position after they graduate, and we want to give them all the tools and education they need in order to join the startup ecosystem in Israel. So, and basically join, and I would say even join the ecosystem, not just startups, but even to more established companies. We want basically to instill in them the entrepreneurship and innovation gene. And the idea is also, you know, I'm a Zionist. The idea is to strengthen the economy and make us the startup nation again. We don't really want to lose it. And, you know, Sinner and Singer wrote the book almost 15 years ago, or published it. They wrote it earlier. Most of the things over there are obsolete, and we want to provide them with all the food for thought they need to eventually write, not them, they are billionaires, but to write Startup Nation 2.0 and tell us about the new miracle, maybe even after the October War. If I'm trying to describe the ecosystem, and this is what I inherited when I started my job, Tel Aviv University does have quite a few entrepreneurship adventures, but you can look at it as a collection of islands or an archipelago where the islands are not connected, definitely not by bridges, but there is also not even a ferry that goes from island to island. Okay, they are isolated, standalone, and you know, we are talking quite a lot about the ecosystem. And if you, I know that universities does not stand alone, Tel Aviv University does not stand alone, but universities are always described also as an ecosystem. Too much ego there, and that also prevents many of the activities to be integrated together. And my mission is to try and bridge it. You know, bridge is a big thing. I would say even just get a ferry that will go from one island to the other and connect them. So we're going to create some synergies. That's the idea behind the job, actually, create new things and also connect them. So we want basically, on the one hand, you know, if I'm trying to split the body of students and graduates into three, that will be easy. We have the white ones, okay? Not skin color. We have the white zone. And the white zone is comprised of individuals that are already infected by the entrepreneurship gene or germ, and they are born as entrepreneurs. And, you know, if you look at them at the age of 10 or 11 or 12, you already see it, and we see it at the university. It's a great population, but we're looking also at the others. Now, at the other end, you have the I would say, the more darker zone, where you see there are people that, pardon, but probably will never become entrepreneurs. They want a secure job in a multinational or an Israeli company, and like, you know, the old Japanese, they want to start at the age of 20 and hopefully at the age of 70 retire, quite likely from the same company. We're not aiming at them as well. If you look at the 50 shades of gray in the middle, there are those that can actually be educated. And we want to draw their interest into entrepreneurship, understand the terminology, understand the ecosystem, and understand what is around in order to basically give them the chance and give them the opportunity to join the ecosystem of entrepreneurship in Israel. And this is what we're trying to do in our ecosystem. So it looks complicated, but it's not complicated. I'll walk through in 3 minutes and you'll become very, very familiar with it. And this will also be the skeleton of what we are going to do today. So we have built an ecosystem that is comprised, it looks like a pyramid, a topless pyramid, but it is comprised of 6 layers, each of which is built upon the other. But in general, you can look at each layer separately. So at the base of the pyramid, we have the exploration and ideation layer, where we allow students to, touch and feel what it is, and we do it through hackathons and workshops and entrepreneurship student clubs and an accelerator and so on. But these are not for credit activities, but there are tons of them around campus. Some are being managed by the Entrepreneurship Center, and others are standalone in particular schools or faculties. We're trying to support them and integrate them, not necessarily always successful, but this is what we're doing at this layer. In the second one, we provide basic entrepreneurship education. Typically Econ 101, Entrepreneurship 101, Entrepreneurship 201 or 102 or whatever. So they get, for credit, they get some courses that teach them what entrepreneurship is all about and what are the major vehicles to run entrepreneurship in a company and the tools that they need. And then in some of the schools around campus, we have advanced education where they can take quite a nice chunk of their studies around entrepreneurship, and actually through hands-on project and experiential learning, they actually experience it all the way from ideation to pitching a group of judges, typically VCs, with their idea and their deck. So they experience it. We don't really expect that this deck will become a viable company, although we aspire to it, but at least at the basic result, they have experienced what it is all about, how to build a deck, how to look at the market, and so on and so forth. And eventually, and they're doing it in a friendly environment. Eventually, later on, they can go ahead and start the company, but at least they know what they should do and how it looks like. Hopefully, second time will be a successful venture. So this is about, I would say, experimentation, exploration, ideation, whatever you want to call it. But this is the education layer, and all 3 activities I just mentioned are managed at the Tau Entrepreneurship Center, headed by Yair Sakov, and Yair will go more in depth into describing these activities. If you look past the very slim border between the activities, you will notice that at the top we have 3 additional layers. We have the Color Startup Competition, which until last year had 3 tracks. This year we add a 4th one. Each track carries a $100K investment in SAFE for the winner. And many of them are still alive. And Eyal Binyamin, who is with us, will describe the competition. He will also describe, he's in charge of the Dan Launchpad as well. The Dan Launchpad is basically kind of an incubator. It takes startups, already formed startups, in very early stages with a proof of concept, and it takes them further, I would say, to the first investment. And they harvest their, the rule of thumb is about a year. If they need an extension, they will stay a little bit more. We provide them with space, with some very, very minor funding, but much mentorship, much help. We try to open the market for them, and basically, it's a launch pad. So send them to the air or to space. And last but not least is Tau Ventures, headed by Nimrod Cohen. I can see Nimrod here. And Nimrod will, it's basically a Tel Aviv University-based VC. And Nimrod will provide us with the characteristics of this activity as well as what it is aiming at. So what do we really want to accomplish? On the one hand, we want to provide theoretical and practical knowledge to our students. And, you know, I'm not talking about the regular suspects. I would expect engineering, computer science, and others to be more oriented towards entrepreneurship, but we're looking also at social science, liberal arts, life sciences. Everybody on campus, we think, should understand entrepreneurship and innovation, and we want to provide them with the basis to coordinate and streamline the entrepreneurial activities on campus. Position Tel Aviv University as Israel's leading entrepreneurial institution. I know that you are connected to many institutions in the States. I would not point on a specific one in the US, but I guess that if you ask the regular guy or the regular lady on a US street, which is the entrepreneurial university in Stanford, you know, I'll be polite and say it's one of the top 5 that I mentioned earlier. Everybody can take from there anyone they want to support the growth of university-affiliated ventures. And last but not least, you know, this is the kind of the headline: contribute directly to Israel's economy. So we are here, but we don't just want to keep our position here. We really want, and you know, I didn't want to be too arrogant, but I wanted to use some graphics and push Cornell to number 7 and push us to number 6. So I leave it as it is originally, but I left the arrow there so you'll understand where is it that we want to head. And we will be more than delighted if there is any support you can provide to help us getting there. So you saw it already. I'm not going to reiterate myself. Eyal, are you still limited with your time frame?
Unfortunately, I do. I still have to leave for an event tonight. So I apologize for not going by the order of this slide.
Yeah, so I would apologize as well. Typically, you know, the natural way would go with Yair first with the bottom 3 activities, and then move to Eyal and move to Nimrod. But you know, with the decision whether to have Eyal and basically switch the order or let Eyal go, you know, the decision was very easy. Eyal is stuck here with us, but I know about his event, so he will go first with the color competition and then launchpad. Then Yair will describe the other levels. Nimrod will sum up, and then we can open it. And I'm sure that all the people on the call can later on sort it the right way rather than the presentation order. So thank you, guys. I stop sharing and I pass the baton to my good friend Eyal.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Moshe. Hello, everyone. Again, my apologies for not being able to stay until for not being able to stay until the end of this meeting, as we have an event that we have to attend this afternoon in Tel Aviv. So my name is Eyal. Most of my adult life I've been founding ventures from various types. Several of them were sold, several of them were not. As part of my life, I've spent a few years in a venture capital firm. I must say that being a founder is much more fun. Today, I have the pleasure and the honor to lead 2 of the entrepreneurship activities in the Tel Aviv University. I must say that by training, I'm an engineer, so it's a 4-stroke engine in here. But my master's is about entrepreneurship and innovation, and my PhD is around tech venture strategy. So I had the opportunity to learn entrepreneurship from both sides, both the practical side, including investment, and from the theoretical and research perspective as well. And as Moshe mentioned, I'm going to introduce 2 activities: the color competition and the down launchpad. So the color competition was actually, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for founders to boost their venture and maybe perhaps get $100,000 of safe investment in their startup. We are currently at the 9th year of operation. The competition was launched by Professor Zviran here and Mr. Jeremy Kohler, the sponsor of the Kohler School of Management. We have 4 tracks in the competition, and I'll explain about those in a second. We had quite a few winners. Until today, we had 17 winners in the first place of the competition. Each and every one of them received $100,000, the total of $1.7 million. 85% of winners are still up and running and the ventures are still in development. They raised more than 150 million in follow-up investments, and they're over the aggregated valuation, which obviously means nothing. Those numbers don't mean a thing. We know that it's just numbers on paper. They might vanish tomorrow afternoon, and they might double on Saturday morning. We don't know what's going to happen until the end of their journey. So why would ventures compete? First, they want to improve their venture. They want to improve their venture by getting more feedback for about 70 judging mentors in the competition. They receive one-on-one high-end mentorship throughout the process and network with leading founders just like them, and they get a lot of exposure to industry leaders. I must say that the competition runs once a year, but the process itself, and I'll show you the dates in a second, take almost most of the year. So we have 4 tracks, as I mentioned. The first is the deep tech track, and the investment comes from Jeremy Coller's private investment fund, which refers to any deep tech technology that you might think of. The alternative protein track is actually an extension of what used to be in the last 7 years the food tech / alternative protein track. So we extended that, and now it is we call animal free. It's extended to biomaterials, bioconvergence, and all kinds of bioalternatives to remove livestock or animals from anywhere in the food, not only the food chain, but in the value chain in general. And the investment here comes from CPT Capital. The online track refers to most of the digital transformation, AI, e-commerce, ad, web, mobile, and any behavior innovation ventures. And the investment here comes from Pulsar Ventures. And Zora Ventures, they support the new track that we have this year, which is the climate track, carbon capture, alternative energy, ocean tech, any other thing that you might think that is related to climate technologies. You might have noticed that there might be overlaps between the tracks. Yes, we know that. So some deep tech ventures might be considered in several other tracks. We resolve that throughout the registration and find which venture fits exactly to what track. Every track has a leader for that track, which provides the professional support. Ran Barcela in the deep track, and the deep tech, Ilanit in the animal free, Eyal Bar-Tzvi in the online tech, and Gil Shai in the climate tech. Each and every one of them is well familiar with the industry and has a lot of relationship and can pull in to the platform the professionals required to evaluate each and every submission. Just to give you a scope, we have about 150 submissions just before the war. Okay, so about 150 submissions. That was just before the October 7th war. During the war itself, we did not cancel the competition. We had about 100 or 90 something. We hope this year, and we're looking forward to having back an increase in the number of ventures, meaning that the ecosystem is kind of rehabilitating after the war. So how does it work? The registration is open. Each and everyone can actually submit their venture for winning. By the end of May, the registration will be closed. They can update their submissions again and again as they move forward and progress with the development of their venture. The semifinals are at about June. Then they have a mentoring boost camp, an acceleration program. And at the end of July, it is the final event in which we nominate the winners and provide the check of $100,000 for each and every winner. So that's the color competition. I will share with you the links, and I will share with you my personal contact, so you can actually contact me after the session for further quick Q&A, because I will not be able to stay all the way in. So actually, you can take a snapshot of this slide using your phone or your screen, and I will share you another link in a second. Moving forward to the Down Launchpad. Down Launchpad is is a venture enhancement program. It's beyond acceleration and beyond incubation. The concept of building the Dan Launchpad was learning what we could have learned from about 10 or 12, maybe even 15 years of acceleration programs in Israel and around the world. We learned from research, and we learned from being personally involved in several of those. And what we have decided to build here is a personalized venture development program. The reason that it is personalized is because just like children, no two ventures are the same. A medical device venture and a dog adoption app or any kind of venture will have its specific and unique characteristics, and it has to be facilitated differently. So why that Launchpad is not like any other program? We do not work in batches or cohorts. We have continuous enrollment. Every venture that is let's say, mature enough to be accepted is accepted, and we start working with that team. We're domain agnostic, as we have to serve the entire community of the Tel Aviv University, which comes from about 16 different schools of thought. We have to provide professional support to architecture students, medical students, engineers, everyone on campus. So we have to be domain agnostic. Every venture moves and progresses at their own pace. I will share with you in a second the list of ventures that are already active in the program, and you will see that defense-related drone venture will be totally different in their pace and in their activity structure than a medical device or a medical health type of venture. This is why every venture has to have their own pace of progress, and we have to tailor the resources for each and every venture differently. Therefore, as you can understand from this slide, is that that we are running, and let's say now we have 19 ventures in the program, so we're actually running 19, or actually 14 active, because 5 have graduated already. 14 different acceleration programs with different mentors, different structures, different facilitation simultaneously. So this is the challenge that we have. We were born on Jan 23. We have 14 ventures under management. 5 have already joined our alumni group. Either they're in a revenue stage or have received significant funding, so we could let them go. We work at this moment with about 38 mentors. This number is going to grow shortly, and we are 5 team members. Soon we will be launching our international or global ambassadors program, and this is another quite, let's say, straightforward step moving forward as the program develops, as our ventures grow and land in different places in the world, and we need to facilitate them in Los Angeles, in Toronto, Canada, and in many other places in the world. So we're building our global ambassadors program. We have several activity vectors. I don't want to spend too much time getting into the details, but again, you will have my email and phone number, so we'll be able to address each and every one of those. We have 4 communities to manage, which is the members and alumni, our mentors, the ecosystem verticals, and the candidates which apply to the program. We have to manage mentors relations, the academy. We have an online academy specifically designed for our ventures. Case management of the ventures, intern support, matchup events, and social media. And coming soon are 2 other new programs that we're going to launch, master classes that will provide high-level facilitation for our ventures, and a new co-working space, which I believe will be launched in a month from now, or maybe a month and a half. So these are the ventures. Again, I will not get deeper in each and every one of them, but I hope that by the end of this year, about half of them will accomplish our goal of having at least a $1 million round of pre-seed investment. Several of them have already accomplished that, and we're working on the rest. So that's about the Dan Launchpad. These are my contact details. Just pull your phone out, get a photo, or shift controls, the print screen of this slide, and you will be able to contact me. I'm usually available my phone is available 24/7, but I'm not. So excuse me if I'll be late a few hours until I call you back. Thank you very, very much for your attention and your support.
Eyal, thank you. If you will need, okay, can you stop share, Eyal?
Yeah, I have to find how do we do that. Something here. Stop share.
Perfect, thank you. Thanks, Eyal. You're more than welcome to stay until the end, but if you need to leave, we'll understand. For those, you know what, let's break the path for a second. Anyone with particular questions to Eyal, or just left? I wasn't fast enough. Okay. So you have his contact details. If you need anything, you can also contact me, and I will be more than happy to bridge between the two of you. So we move down the pyramid, and Yair Sakov is managing the Entrepreneurship Center for more than 6 years. Yair, the floor is yours, and you have 3 levels of the pyramid.
I have 3 what? I'm sorry?
3 levels of the pyramid.
All right. So, good morning, everyone. I guess morning for you, afternoon for us. Thank you for joining us. So my name is Yair Sakov. It's, as Moshe said, I joined Tel Aviv actually exactly six and a half years ago. In my background, I have an engineering degree and an MBA from WashU. Spent about 10 years in the US, 5 with Intel at Intel's headquarters in Santa Clara, and 5 with another large US corporation in data networking. Moved back to Israel, raised a $120 million venture capital firm, spent about 7 years in VC, and then went back to management. Among others, I set up a company in China. I managed a company in the US. And about 11 years ago, I actually retired from the high-tech industry and moved into the social venture space. And actually through that, I got to Tel Aviv to found the Entrepreneurship Center. I guess to start, and as Moshe said, you know, the basic layer. I think that in terms of vision, if I can get the slides to move, yes. The entrepreneurship side, I always said that it's not our role to raise entrepreneurs. Our role is to teach entrepreneurship. And the difference I make between these two phrases is that, you know, entrepreneur is someone that is born an entrepreneur. It's someone that has they can take, they're willing to take risks. They think outside the box. They, you know, very passionate. They go after their ideas and so forth. I can't really take a person off the street and turn them into an entrepreneur. But I can teach entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a set of tools. It's a mindset. And I personally believe that every student of ours that will acquire these tools and mindset will be much more successful in their life, anywhere from their personal life to their business life. So really our focus is, if you like, we're university. We're actually teaching entrepreneurship to everyone. We're not cherry picking, you know, startups or students, but trying to reach as many students as possible. How we do that? So as Moshe actually outlined, we have a number of pillars. The first one is our academic courses. Moshe went through that. I'll just say that this is a very unique program in Tel Aviv University. We have between, I don't know, 25, 30 entrepreneurship related courses. Students can pick, let's call it a mini minor out of these classes. And if you like, so for example, if you're studying philosophy, which is a 3-year degree, 120 credits, you can actually decide you're taking 104 credits in philosophy, 16 credits in entrepreneurship, so about 15% of your degree, and you'll receive a degree in philosophy and entrepreneurship. And that's true for architecture, archaeology, history, literature, and also the law school and so forth. And as you go, you know, in the food chain, then, you know, in the computer science school, it's 22 credits, in engineering 32 credits, and so forth. So that's very unique that you can actually study entrepreneurship as an integral part of your degree. The second area that we focus on is what I call, or I think Moshe also mentioned that, is experiential entrepreneurship. And this is where we'd like to give our students the opportunity to experience entrepreneurship and go into practical activities, things that maybe they aren't able to do in their classes, or even for students who are not willing to take the classes because it doesn't fit their schedule, or they're concerned how it's going to impact their GPA and so forth. And in the experiential programs, we have a wide range of programs. We start from the very basic, which is soft skill workshops. Things like project management, team management, creative thinking, and so forth. Then we have specific workshops on a workshop which introduces our students to entrepreneurship. Once again, those students who are unable to take their classes, they'll come to this workshop. It's a 9-session workshop for about 4 hours each session. We have another workshop on social entrepreneurship or impact ventures. Also, a very developed program. One of our tools to actually create startups is our hackathons, or as we call them, Hacktao. We have a number of hackathons per year. In each of these hackathons can be on any subject that either students initiate, or we have industry come in and ask for a certain topic, or things that we initiate ourselves. So for example, our last hackathon was with Mafat. Mafat is the R&D, research and development arm of the Israeli Defense Forces. And they came in and said, look, we had some challenges coming up for the recent war, Iron Swords, and we would like you to help us tackle these challenges. And actually, these were challenges or problems that they've encountered during the war that unfortunately caused to the death of our soldiers. So each of these challenges was named after one of these heroes in the war. So for example, one of the challenges was how do you well, I forgot the term in English, but how do you stop the blood from flowing, coming out of the wound in areas where you can't actually tie a knot or something to stop the blood, and things like that. And actually, this was a very successful hackathon. Mafat is now taking the winners of the hackathon and are working with them to form a company and their technology to market, which is a great achievement. Those teams that succeed in the hackathons typically join one of our flagship programs, which is Jump Tao. This is our accelerator program, considered to be one of the best accelerators in Israel today. This is a very in-depth program, about 4.5 months. Each team receives mentorship from 2 high-ranking executives, people that have either had a couple of exits, or they're currently EVPs at large Israeli corporations or CEOs. And they actually escort these teams very closely in the 4.5 months. We have workshops every week. The teams also meet venture capital firms a couple of times throughout the programs to get feedback and help them advance in their programs. So far, in the last 5 years that the program has been active, we had around 115, 114 startup teams go through the program, 20 of which formed companies and raised close to $180 million for the startups. So this is actually a very successful program with about almost 20% success rate for the startups that come into the program. Another flagship program is our Yazamiot on campus. Yazamiot is the Hebrew word for female entrepreneurs. This program is targeted for female students in working on their research degrees, so it's master's and PhD. And really, it's focused on helping actually connecting them to the market. As Moshe said earlier, only about 5% of them will actually find a position within academia, and the vast majority will end up working in industry. So this workshop helps them also connect to the market. They're working on actually the end function of this program is for them to present a validated market problem as opposed to working on the research that maybe something which is not as practical as the industry would like. It's also a very successful program. I didn't mention, but in our accelerator program, we're currently on cohort 9. In the Zamiot, we're now starting cohort 6. We also, help students to test their ideas. Actually, all the programs actually are open to students, graduates, and academic and administrative staff. So another program we have is something called VC Speed Dating. We bring some of the leading VCs to meet with the students. Each team of students that like to present their idea get 15 minutes with a leading VC to present their idea for a startup, getting immediate feedback, kind of a lakmus test. And if it's something interesting, we then take them to the accelerator or to other programs. So this is kind of what we've done in the last 5.5 years since we've been active. Over 200 programs and workshops that we have run, 135 classes have been delivered. We have touched 21,000 students, which is an amazing number. We haven't actually researched that, but I would venture to say that at least 90% of them, if not more, didn't think they had anything to do with, or they have anything to do with entrepreneurship. And the fact that we have introduced them to that maybe got them to think about that. And I'm also quite certain that a large portion of them, we kind of invoked the entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial gene that they had in them, but they didn't know that because they didn't really know what entrepreneurship is all about. As I said, we had about 114 startups going through our programs, 20 of which became startups, raising over $180 million. And we work today with 191 mentors, many of whom joined our programs through Sigalit and Adva, through the alumni programs. I guess around 95% of our mentors come from Tel Aviv alumni group. This is it for me.
Toda, Yair. We'll pass the baton to Nimrod, and then we'll open it for questions and discussion.
Perfect. So I hope you guys are still awake and focused. I'll skip the slides. I'll just talk, especially that after everyone talking, I guess they covered like 80% of the pyramid, I will say. And I'm happy to see some familiar faces here. So nice to meet to those of you that I haven't met yet. I'm Nimrod Cohen. I'm the founder and managing partner of Tau Ventures. My background, I've been around the startup ecosystem for a while. I had my own startups, sold 2 of them, moved to the dark side of the investors around 2011. Invested so far in almost 70 startups. First 5 years together with 2 of my friends in a group we called Plus Ventures. We did pretty well there. 6 of our pre-seed investments there became kind of large companies, currently worth between $1 to $10 billion. And about 7 years ago, I established Tau Ventures together with Tel Aviv University. On a very basic manner, Tau Ventures is a VC like any other VC in terms of structure, goals, and so on. We have 2 funds, total of $70 million. We invest very early, pre-seed and seed investments, generalistic, not pharma, not medical devices. Other than that, we're really open and wide. But we are not a typical and regular VC. At the end of the day, we're the VC of Tel Aviv University. As we see it, it basically creates 2 main advantages. The first one, obviously, is deal flow. As you all understand, I mean, so many great things going on around Tel Aviv University, and the fact that we are part of the university basically gives us some kind of a first look, I would say. It's less about students. Currently, it's less about students. It's more about alumni or technologies or MBAs and stuff like that, because that's the typical stage usually for entrepreneurs to create their own startups. So this is one advantage that we have compared to other VCs. And the second one, basically most VCs can offer money. I mean, obviously have some more around that, but the fact that we are part of the university allows us to offer our entrepreneurs the different resources around the university, from connections and open doors, connecting our startups to the relevant knowledge around the university, workforce, students from the university doing internship with our startups and get credits for that. Office space, we have 1,000 square meters where our startup sits next to us, next to each other. It's created a great ecosystem. We add some professional layers on top of that, like forum for the CEOs, CTOs, in-house mentors, marketing experts, and so on and so on. And another thing that we're super proud is that we leverage the fact that being a VC of a university, that's a very unique positioning. I would even say very clean positioning that allows us to create an entire ecosystem around us and bring the industry very close to us, because for corporates or governments or individuals, that's an easier decision to work with a VC of a university. So we're doing many type of collaborations and programs Like we had a program with AB InBev, the largest brewer in the world, with NEC. We're super proud of an accelerator that we run for 6 years now with the Israeli Shabak, the security agency, dealing with dual use and defense tech companies. So as a fund, we invested in 26 companies so far. We won 5 years as one of the best VCs in Israel. In terms of results, Fund 1 currently puts us among the top 20% if you compare our results to US funds from same size and same vintage. Our portfolio companies and accelerator alumni raised almost $700 million till now. And we're super happy and proud about that. Other than that, again, our investors are investors that invest in other funds, typical VC investors from wealth individuals, family offices, private equity, and so on. We are now raising 2 more funds, the generalistic fund, again, like Fund 3, and another one focused on defense tech and dual use companies, leveraging what's going on basically in the world around defense tech and so on. Some exciting news from our portfolio companies from the last couple of months that related to all of us. For example, the last video of Yair Sinwar, if you saw that was taken from a drone that identified him, and then just seconds before he bombed. So it was taken by a company called Extend. We were the first investors in Extend. So that's super proud achievement. Other than they're doing super great and worth hundreds of millions now, I mean, that was maybe the most exciting moment for us. Another very exciting company called Sayabra, they're going to the NASDAQ next quarter. Mike Pompeo joined their board of advisors. They're dealing with fake identities and fake news, which is super critical in the last couple of years that we all see what's going on around the world with fake identities, fake news. Some would say that some presidents around the world maybe got elected, or it can affect corporates and so on and so on. So we're super proud of that as well. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it in a very high level. I can talk hours about that, but I guess that pretty much gives you like the general idea.
Thank you, Nimrod, and I'm passing the baton to Adva. Go ahead.
Lana, please. If you have any questions.
Yeah, I think we'll open session Q&A if anyone has a questions. Let's see, we'll give it a few seconds.
You mind articulating some of the challenges that you feel like you have? I mean, obviously great positioning, all sorts of tailwinds. Any challenges that you're facing with, and what help are you looking for?
Jean-Louis, can you please introduce yourself just briefly?
Yeah, I'm Jean-Louis Guillou. Just a second.
Thank you.
Jean-Louis Guillou, former senior exec at Cargill, so not an entrepreneur, senior exec at UBS Investment Bank as well. I've been a member of YEPO for the last 11 years, good friends of Near It, and that's why I'm on the call as well. And yeah, that's it. So back to the business school as a business.
And Jean-Louis was on an innovation journey.
Oh, sure. That's it.
IPO in Israel, focused on entrepreneurship and innovation.
And I do help lots of entrepreneurs today still, but mostly with artificial intelligence strategy. But anyway.
Well, I'll pick the question in terms of challenges. I don't know how long Adva planned for this call. I can talk about a couple of hours of challenges and not cover all of them. But in general, some of the challenges, I'll try to articulate my reference. One is, needless to say, funding. We lack funding to many of the activities we want to instill. But this is easy, okay? But, well, not exactly easy, but this is straightforward. But as Eyal mentioned, we want to globalize our efforts. As a case in point, we would like to share global knowledge with our students and entrepreneurs. We would like to send some of the leading entrepreneurs to journeys abroad, to short journeys to meet VCs and meet entrepreneurs abroad. We used to do it, by the way, in many standalone activities. As a case in point, I will mention a few. We used to send a bunch of entrepreneurs to a boot camp in LA. A few years ago, we were funded by basically the Friends of Tel Aviv University around there. The entrepreneurs came there and met, as I said, VCs and entrepreneurs and individual investors and so on and so forth, and got the lectures and got presentations about the entrepreneurship scene in the US. We have a mission of students in real estate that go to Toronto every year for the last 10 years, I think, for a nice journey abroad to meet the real estate scene in Canada and so on. So the global perspective is crucial. We're far from there. We are not there yet. We would like to expand I'm not so sure anyone from outside can help, but we would like to expand our presence at Tel Aviv University at home. We're still struggling with the ecosystem around here. So tons of challenges, but that is what makes life interesting and happy.
Thank you. Thank you, Jean-Louis. Any questions from anyone else? Okay.
Nimrod,
Hi,
Sorry.
if I can say my 2 cents, this is Ran Fuhrer. Hi, Moshe. Hi, Sigalit. Hi, Adva. Thanks you for having me. Tomer, pleasure to meet you. I don't think we personally met. 2 cents about myself, Tel Aviv alumni from law school, did my master's at Stanford. What I do in life is we took over Bezeq with a cooperation with Searchlight, is an American private equity fund. Together with my family, I led it. Pleasure to meet you all, and if I can help you in any way, please feel absolutely free to reach out directly to me. Sigalit has my details, and I really appreciate and respect your efforts. I think you're doing a very important thing. And why only number 6? I want to see you in the top 5, Moshe.
You know, it's challenging.
Challenge?
No pressure, man.
Ran, my friend, I will share with you what I tell my president, and it's easy. Well, these guys at those 5 universities raise in a week, you raise in a year. Okay, so instead, in terms of funding, simply the resources they're unlimited. We are struggling with Israel, but we're doing fine.
I know, believe me, I know, and even to be number 7 in the top 10, it's amazing. I mean,
I agree with you.
It's unbelievable. It's not amazing. Yeah.
And if you look at the unicorns, I mean, they still need to prove themselves. But if you look at the unicorns, to top the list, where you have, the British university,
Oxford, Cambridge, other American Columbia universities after the top 10. Believe me, I know everything. But respect, appreciate you. If I can help, I'm here, and that's it.
Okay. Unlike the others, I have you on my Rolodex, so I know your number again. I don't need Sigalit for this.
Thank you, Ran. We will reach you as well. So
Perfect.
we'll reach out. Anyone else? Do you have more questions? Good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Moshe, Nimrod, Yair, Eyal, for your insights, your input, your know-how. It was amazing. Very, very inspiring. As for us, for starting this opportunity, it was a really nice kickoff for what we're going to do with we have lots of ideas on the pipeline, and we're going to just have a really nice project, impactful project to do together. So I think we'll one step, like just to refine our objectives and initiatives, and would love to share that and send an email with the takeaways and see how we can collaborate together and have a big impactful project extra in 2025 and 26. Thank you so much. Adva, do you have anything else to add, or Shoshana?
Before Adva concludes, I will jump in again. I'm Israeli. So I'm doing it the Israeli way. 2 things. First of all, if you as a group have an idea, you heard, in a nutshell what we are doing here. if you have an idea you want to share with us and act as a group to promote it within the scene, we'll be more than happy to assist. And secondly, you know, the Israeli hospitality. So any one of you who gets to Israel, just let me know ahead of time. I fix great coffee myself, not secretary, not anyone else. And I'll be more than happy to invite you to a cup of coffee. No food at Tel Aviv University, but coffee definitely. I invite you to a cup of coffee or lunch or whatever, and you know, share more insights, get your insights, and we'll be more than happy to collaborate.
Thank you so much. We didn't want to take much of your time, like with the pipeline we have, but Shoshana, if you have 2 minutes for Shoshana just to give an insight, some ideas, like really briefly, and then we can send an email and see, maybe we can schedule another short meeting, very focused, narrowed on some ideas, and we'll see how we take it from there. Shoshana?
Yeah, I mean, thank you again to everyone for today. I think this was incredibly productive. To Moshe's point, as we, you know, step away from the meeting, please contact us with anything that might pop up. A lot of things are kind of pinging in my mind, being in the lab at MIT. I will let you guys know, which will probably make everyone, you know, proud and happy. There's a lot of Israeli presence in my lab. Head of my lab is, you know, from Israel. So there's a lot of very interesting things that I've learned in my last 3 years being in the lab that I see being very applicable to what we're trying to build and grow here. I have some ideas already coming into this meeting, but it was very helpful for me at least to get a sense of, I'm not the most familiar with all the TAU programming, so this was incredibly helpful for me to understand the resources and sort of what's available to us. So I'm very excited to come up with a, you know, impactful project that will hopefully be successful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shoshana.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining
Thank you,
us.
guys. Bye-bye.
Very much.
Thank
so much for
you for
joining
your
us. Thank you.
time.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
Lana. Thank you, Shoshana.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you, Advance.
Bye-bye.
Sigalit,
Thank you,
Adva.
Focus.
ביי, תודה לכם.
Thank you, guys.
ביי ביי, תודה. ביי.